Good morning, dear Dharma friends. What a treat to make it successfully through another night, to wake up, to be able to get out of bed.
Robert, you're very echoey.
Echoey. Thank you. Let me see if I can fix that. Loop back audio. Why would there be an echo? Let me see. Is it still echoey?
It is not.
It is not. Oh, good.
Nope.
Yay. I would like to say I knew exactly what I was doing that eliminated the echo, but I'm not sure. However, it's gone. So the days continue to get shorter. It's pretty dark out. But we have another, not long, another 7 days of shortening days. So I've forgotten to do this for a long time. I'm Robert Beatty, or I am that which takes it to be Robert Beatty, the artist previously known as. This is a broadcast of the Portland Insight Meditation Community. That's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? The Portland Insight Meditation Community. I'm here with my friend Jim Dalton, colleague, friend of a lifetime. Thank you, Jim. We will need to leave a little before 8 this morning and end the meeting because we have a board meeting. So, without further ado, here's a poem. It's another poem from Lao Tzu. Come on. So please let's notice that we're sitting here. Sitting in a very receptive state. Oh, that music, by the way, was Kimberly Ransom, one of our community members, from her album Copperhead. So from the Hua Hu Ching, number 38. Why scurry about looking for the truth? It vibrates in everything and every not thing, right off the tip of your nose. Can you be still and see it in the mountain, the pine tree, yourself? Don't imagine you'll discover it by accumulating more knowledge. Knowledge creates doubt, and doubt makes you ravenous for more knowledge. You can never get full eating this way. The wise person dines on something more subtle. They eat the understanding that the named was born from the unnamed, that all being flows from non-being, that the indescribable world emanates from an indescribable, that the describable world emanates from an indescribable source. They find this subtle truth inside their own self and become completely content. So who can be still and watch the chess game of the world? The foolish are always making impulsive moves, but the wise know that victory and defeat are decided by something more subtle. They see that something perfect exists before any move is made. This subtle perfection deteriorates when artificial actions are taken. So be content not to disturb the peace. Remain quiet. Discover the harmony in your own being. Embrace it. If you can do this, you will gain everything, and the world will become healthy again. If you can't, you will be lost in the shadows forever. So who can be still and watch the chess game of the world? The foolish are always making impulsive moves, but the wise know that victory and defeat are decided by something more subtle. They see that something perfect exists before any move is made. And so we
Robert, dear, I can hardly hear you.
Is anyone else having difficulty hearing? No. Yes.
The volume is at a lower level. I've got you all the way up on my computer.
All right.
I can barely hear you.
How about that? That should be
Much
louder.
better. Much better.
All right. I heard your cat. Makes me want to sneeze to see your cat all around your face. It's like, ah. So, here we are. Louder now. Whatever shall we do? We have some precious time here now. What if we were to do nothing? What if we allowed ourselves to simply be here? If we wanted to do something, we could use our memory and cognitive functions to remind ourselves of the refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. For thousands of years, people have chanted, Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma, and I take refuge in the Sangha. The world within us and around us is utterly, in a way, unimaginably impermanent. So where shall we take refuge? Youth, beauty, power, money, control, education, children, relationship, music. These are remarkable and worthy pleasures, some of them, but no place to take refuge. I take refuge in being mindful, being awake. I take refuge in that which is discovered in awakeness, the Dharma, the way things are. And I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of practice. And if we wanted to do something, we could take up mindfulness of in-breathing and out-breathing. And again, it's not some fantasy of breathing, it's the actual tissues, the flesh and bones, the life of the body that we attend to, which exists only in the present moment. So the body breathes all by itself. It's been doing it for a long time. In addition to the body breathing, there may well be thoughts. And we tend to say, I am thinking. But consider that it may be more accurate to say, there are thoughts. And we may, in fact, become entranced by thoughts. swept away into desire and wanting, or disliking and not wanting. Entranced by restlessness, agitation, worry. Brought to the brink of unconsciousness with sloth and torpor. And confused in doubt. These are the elements of the landscape of a separate self. And so we see them, and then there's the breath, right here, right now. What we are doing is so unlike the rest of our lives. The presumption is achieve something. Get ahead. Develop skills and assets. In practice, we're just a presence, experiencing phenomena as they are. Each breath has a beginning. It has a rising to fullness. It has a decline. Sounds may come, including the sound of this voice. And noticing how they too come out of nowhere. They don't exist, and then it does. There is no way to speed up time to get to some desired moment, nor is there a way to slow it down. In fact, time itself is a fantasy. What is there? There's now. These sounds, this breath, this body, perhaps being aware of the feet, the toes, the ankles, the legs, calves, shins, thighs, all the life of the pelvis, the buttocks, and the end of the digestive tube and the genitals, the organs nestled in the cradle of the pelvis, the abdomen and chest, the sacrum and the back. Perhaps you can feel the heart beating away. The hands and fingers, the wrists, the forearms, the upper arms. Perhaps this is one of those times when the mind is verging into silence. When the forces of dispersion are subdued, absent, and one can rest in simple, choiceless awareness, noticing a thought now, a sound then, a breath in now. And we have the experience of momentary concentration when the mind and the object are one. Or on the other end of the spectrum, perhaps there's upset. Perhaps there's worry or planning or desire or perhaps the mind is real sleepy. In these instances, it's useful to note which of the 5 hindrances are in the ascendant. Oh, the mind is restless. Oh, the mind is filled with desire. Is it dukkha? Is it unpleasant? Is it suffering? Is it not quite satisfying to have a mind doing this? And we can intentionally come home to breathing and really attend to the first moment of the emergence of the breath, the birth. In the Buddha's words, observing origination factors in the breathing, observing dissolution factors in the breath. And let's use the imagination. And imagine that in the center of your heart, there's a golden Buddha, a golden Kuan Yin, shaped exactly like you. Every hair is the same, every pore, every scar. This archetypal image is your doorway to the infinite. And we can imagine that through this doorway pours a vast amount of love and compassion. And some people are really good at visualizing, and for some it doesn't work at all. It doesn't matter. It's the intention that's really important. You can also let this voice be any voice you'd like. It could be the voice of a different person. It could be your voice. Turn on your auto-translator. The words, too, could be translated as they're spoken, as they're heard. And imagining a golden or white or a light of any color that nourishes you comes pouring in through this tiny doorway to the infinite. In a way, it's like a big bang of love flooding into your body, and let it flow down into your solar plexus and pelvis and legs and toes. Let it flow in from the heart and up into the upper body, the shoulders, the chest, the neck, the face, the eyes, the ears, the scalp, the tongue. May this energy comfort, heal wherever possible, whatever is difficult. Imagine it flowing into the entirety of your psychological being, the whole story that you cherish of your lifetime. Any rough places in there, any place of non-forgiveness, let there be so much love that you just can't hold on to resentments. And of course, there's been plenty of suffering in your life. So let it be comforted by compassion. The compassion of the Buddha, the most compassionate one. Or Kuan Yin, Tara, she who hears the cries of the world. Let those old pains that are buried in there finally come to light and be touched, comforted. And now, if we had more, quote, time, we could do this for a long time, or a short time, or just the right amount of time. And for now, let us imagine that this golden Buddha is growing, and that as they grow, they come to approach the skin of your body. And in fact, in the end, the skin of this golden Buddha is your skin. You are the Buddha. You are Kuan Yin. They're not distant archetypes or images. They actually are embodied as you. And notice how your body can radiate love and compassion. To all the beings north of you. Here in Portland, it might be Vancouver, Washington, and then Vancouver, Canada. Whitehorse, Alaska. Extending this energy, this wish, this blessing to the south, to LA, to Cathedral City, to Mexico and Nicaragua, to Belize and Argentina. People going about their lives somehow touched by your love, by the love of the Buddha. And from here to the west, to Cannon Beach and Lincoln City, Hawaii, to Micronesia and Australia, to North Korea, to Mongolia, to India, Pakistan, all the stans, Uzbekistan, Iran, Iraq. To the east, Salt Lake, Gresham, Boston, England, France. Everywhere we shine this light of love and compassion, there are people going about their lives consumed with the ideas of happiness through consumption. May all beings everywhere on this little blue dot, this little speck flying through space, may all of us who are born here and die here become touched with love, touched with caring. May we all remember our true great nature. And now you are this golden Buddha, this golden Kuan Yin. Do you want to remain this way for the day? Why not? Or maybe you want to shrink this Buddha down to fit inside your heart. And we can know that this loving energy is always there, always has been. And we can tap into it at any time. It would be helpful to us or all beings. And please now bring awareness into the buttocks and thighs, into the fingers, the baby finger of the left hand, the index finger of the right hand, into the face, into the eyes, and knowing the eyes as sensation. And now doing whatever it is, the task of intending to open, and then letting the eyes open mindfully, noticing, seeing when it begins. Hello, my beautiful friends. If you're not on the connections list at BIMC, I recommend that you go there to do that. It's not particularly busy these days, but there is, for instance, on Mondays, the weekly digest, and it has all the things that are happening at the center. It wouldn't yet have, because I just let Gregory and Molly know, but if you're interested, please keep the 4th of January open. The evening from 7 to 9, I'll be hosting a gathering to listen to The Year of Magical Thinking, read by Vanessa Redgrave, and the Joan Didion's book, written in that first year after her husband died in front of her. Quite something. Very powerful, very inspiring. And then also New Year's Eve, we're going to have a New Year's event, which we've had for several years. This Saturday, Jim Dalton is doing a Qigong mindful poetry day from 9 to 1. I have Candle's information up here. I think the best thing to do would be check out the I don't know that it's on the website yet, but she does other teaching than her second Sundays. She's every Tuesday from 3 to 4:30, and the first and third bi-monthly. Well, that's the Sunday. Anyway, check out the digest. So, friends, we have a few minutes. Maybe.
Robert, there's a question about where the Zoom recordings are saved.
They are saved on my computer. If you want to review something or see it later, go to robertbeatty.com. Go to my website and scroll down, and there's a link that'll take you to the Facebook page where they're all stored. So that's where to witness them, watch, listen to them later. Greetings, Paula. Welcome. And there's, my God, there's probably 500 of them or 300 of them up there. But also, while you're at robertbeatty.com, look around. Especially, go all the way to the bottom. There's a really beautiful thing there called the Great Way. It's a it's a music, visual, and auditory feast. There's also a couple of really interesting, I find them interesting. I found them interesting at the time, interviews that have been done of me. One was done in the tent at the beginning of this morning saga. And good interview. A good interviewer really helps a person when they do the interview.
Robert, just for additional information, on the Facebook page, in addition to your sessions, for example, Jim's Monday Night Guest House, I really had fun watching that last night because it's like midnight when he's doing that here. Mm-hmm. So, and Candle's sessions also show up.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. You never have to have a moment not occupied with Dharma.
Morning, it's Denise.
Hello, Denise.
All right, so my question is about compassion and separating like the clinging of the story of wanting to be compassionate, or as this example, my brother is a military veteran and someone that he served with recently committed suicide. So I'm feeling this compassion and but there's the story that goes with that, right? So I'm having compassion for the family and the people and all of those boys. But right, that's this like clinging to this story about it. And so, yeah.
What if you were to start? What if you were to start with compassion for your own anguish in the moment, your own sadness that this touches, and really hold yourself in that? We don't need to go into the story even. And your brother, you love your brother, it sounds like, and I don't think we need to make it complicated at all. It's just, wow, my brother's hurting. And that family is really hurting. And so am I. I think of the story of Tara, the goddess Tara, Tibetan. The origin story of Tara, Avalokiteshvara, the founding patron saint of Tibetan Buddhism, was practicing compassion meditation and for the whole world. And then when he came out of this deep meditation after some eons, he realized he'd hardly made a dent. And he was saddened by this. And a tear fell from his eye. And that tear, as it fell, became Tara, the embodiment. And it's she who hears the cries of the world. So you hear the cry of your brother and his family and your own. And so I think it really is just acknowledging, yes, there is this humongous suffering. That any help? Particularly acknowledging our own hurt and suffering. We're not supposed to, of course. We're supposed to take a nice picture of our lunch and put it on Facebook with a big smiley face. But in fact, I mean, that's probably the main, now I feel sad. It's probably one of the main lessons of my life is how remarkably difficult it is to be a human being. No matter where we are in the socioeconomic pecking order, it's just really hard. And, of course, recognizing that difficulty is what opens our heart to ourselves and each other. Well, I think I would like to stop there and not have to rush to this next meeting I must go to. Shall we sing our way out of here? May all beings receive all blessings. And please unmute. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. It's lovely. Every now and then I get a little glimpse of a voice that I recognize. It's very sweet. So have a wonderful day, dear friends, and may we be kind with ourselves and others.
Thanks, Sangha.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you, Robert.
Love you.
Thanks,
Love
David.
you. Love you.
Bye, everybody.